Hi, welcome. This is Mark Filkins. I just thought I'd try this out. I know it's dark. You can probably see my glasses a little bit, maybe barely. Sorry about that. I just wanted to go live and try this out. I've never done live uh, on here on YouTube before, so I thought I'd try it in the dark. Woo! That's my ghost sound. Anyway, so I thought I'd give it a whirl and see what it would do, and it did exactly as I expected it would do. You can't see me, so my apologies. Anyway, this is about North Korea, and Trump's flying over there. You know, what is it with presidents of the United States? Why do they always got to fly around the world? I don't get it. Why not have those leaders come here? Why does Trump need to fly around, or Obama needs to fly around, George Bush need to fly around? Seems like they always got to fly around the world, and it's like, what for? Really? You know, we got our own problems over here in the United States, and you are the United States, President of the United States. Why don't you stay home and send your diplomats? That's why we have, that's why we have people that are diplomats that are in those countries. That's what they do. That's why we have U.S. embassies in China. The embassy guy goes there and acts like he's, representing the president. That's what the embassy guy does. Excuse me. He says, "Hey, I represent the president of the United States. Tell me what or gives them messages." But that's what you have those people for. I mean, that's why the president has diplomats and all these other kind of people that work with those governments over there, and no need for the president to go run over there and do anything. It's just a waste of money and time and effort, and it could actually undermine some of the things that are being done over there in the first place, because the embassies might be negotiating a deal and get everything kind of panned out, and then here comes the president and undermines whatever they were doing. And the president can say, "Oh no, I didn't mean to do that," and they're like, "Oh, okay, we weren't gonna do that. We were just getting him to this level of this argument, and then we were gonna, tell him that something else and kind of lead them down the road to what our true goals are." And the president just goes down and blabs it off and ruins everything for negotiation wise. So it's kind of can be counterproductive, for all the people below him that are over there negotiating with him on terms, so there. So just a joyride, waste a bunch of gas and time. Oh my goodness! So Obama, here goes Trump there to talk to everybody and hobnob and spend. Maybe they're gonna buy some new clothing or something. Oh, I got to think about it. Wait a minute, um, his wife has to check her clothing line out over there. I think she's having him made over there. So that's probably what is going on over there. Trump's wife is getting her clothing line, fixed. So she probably wants to go check it out, make sure it's done by the proper slaves. Maybe make sure they're only making 50 cents an hour. Anyway, so North Korea, there's no way we're going to get an agreement with North Korea. In my view, I just really don't think it's going to happen. Give up the nuclear weapons, give up all the missiles, the nukes, and all that stuff for anything. And even if we do make some kind of deal, they're still going to build nukes secretly. I just don't see it happening without some kind of military intervention, or we have to have supervisors go in there and check on this stuff, and over time that will get eroded away like it has in other countries. So even if we do put IAEA in there, eventually we'll forget about everything and go back to goofing off like we do here, and forget all about what they're doing over there, and then they'll have more nukes. So the only thing I could see is military intervention, where we go in and they have a new regime, a new government in there that's going to not make nukes, and then we have kind of part our government, part their government together in there to make sure, or another government like England maybe, or somebody else. It doesn't have to be the United States, but some other quasi government in there to make sure they're not going to make more nukes and more stuff like that. That's the only way. In other words, that government has to become an open society like all the other societies are. It cannot no longer be a closed society and not let people in there. And it's got to be an open society where people can come and go, and no longer be a closed off society for its people. And then that way, people can go in there and see what they have and make sure they're doing what's right, and that kind of thing. And it's got to change. Society can't be closed like it is. Like, it's got to turn from a prison camp to an open society. So that's what it's got to do there. But anyway, so Trump's going to go over there, and what is he going to do? What is Trump going to do that's any different than any of the diplomats? Nothing. So the point is, why are you running around on these trips? I got mad at Obama doing this crap, and then now here's Trump running around, oh, I got to talk to everybody for some reason. Can't do it on the phone. Can't he text them? He can do it on Twitter. Why does he need to go see him in person? Oh, it's the chocolate cake he's going to eat over in China. maybe he's going to sample the chocolate cake in China. It might just be different. It might be better chocolate cake over there. Plus, those guys only do it for 50 cents an hour. Probably make it, see if it's the same. Who knows? Oh, what a headache. Anyway, and so maybe now the North Korean president, Kim Boy, maybe he's finally realized that, oh no, I better stop firing missiles off, because they got 2 aircraft carriers there, and I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think his sanctions might be kicking in, and maybe he's finally feeling the twist of the sanctions. Maybe that's why he stopped firing them off. I think he's going to fire some more off soon anyway. I just think he's just being lazy because something else happened, and with his cave-in on his, I guess I heard his tunnel that he had for the nukes caved in. It was a massive cave-in, so he may be grieving, and they may be digging out those people that are all crushed to death. So that might be what's going on. But as soon as he gets that all figured out, then I think he'll be back in business, ready to fire some more missiles off, I guarantee you. And so I think that's just something like that went on, or something else, slowed him down on firing some more missiles off. But I think he'll be doing that soon again. So, and it has nothing to do with our aircraft carriers over there, or Trump going over there, or anything else like that. It's just something internal going on that he's he's waiting. Maybe they're putting together some more missiles, and he wants to send 6 of them off. Who knows? And so he's finishing the touching up some of them, so he can send more than one, maybe, or something like that. Anyway, so I think we're probably pretty close to World War III. I mean, it's like it could happen any day. I think we're just right on the edge of it, and any day it could just break out. I'm surprised it hasn't honestly broken out yet. I'm very, very surprised. I sit there and scratch my head every day, going, "Man, we skipped that one. We skipped it today. It hasn't happened today. Whew. It's like every day. Well, we skipped through that one. It didn't happen today. And it's like a day by day. Oh, wonderful. Well, it didn't happen today, so maybe tomorrow." Then when that day goes by, it's like, well, we skipped this year. Well, that's good. Well, maybe next year. And so that's kind of how I see it. Is almost each year, just waiting for the shoe to drop. I call it, and just waiting for the other shoe to drop, and just it didn't drop this year. Okay, good. Phew. I don't know if you feel that way too, but that's kind of how I feel. Is that the thing out there is so tense that it's just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I do want to talk about off topic. Apologize, but Oh, and by the way, if we do go to war with North Korea, Koreans would get slaughtered. It'd be horrible. Some of our people would die too, but the Koreans would get slaughtered, including the Chinese if they came into the war. It would be just a slaughter. It'd be horrible. And I feel bad because those poor people, they're brainwashed. They can't pray in public to Christ. They can only pray to Kim's father or to him. It's not terrible. And so if they think you're praying to Jesus or something like that, they'll could end up throwing you in jail or shooting you in the head for praying to Jesus. Isn't that crazy? So that's why I said they need to become more democratic and let people worship what they want or who they want. Period. Needs to happen in that country, and the only way that's going to happen is probably some kind of upheaval, and so that those people can worship who they want and go to work how they want and have their get their freedoms back. That's what they really need, is to become a free people, and then also the weaponries, the nuclear weapons taken away. I think that's a good idea. Away from them, they don't need nukes. In fact, I think China should get rid of its nukes as well, and some other countries over there. In fact, it'd be nice to reduce the nukes in the United States as well. However, I don't want to get rid of all of them, because until everybody else get rid of theirs first, then we can get rid of ours. But and then it'd be a little bit better. But conventional or small tactical nukes, people could have those. I think would be fine to have. To keep everybody safe from impeding enemies that might come up in the future. But other than that, the bigger nukes, I think we should all get rid of them and have our tactical nukes, and that's it. But anyways, back to what I was going to say here, off topic. Look, okay, you got a dollar bill. It's a U.S. dollar. And everybody goes, it's going to crash. It's going to go away. Blah, 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 blah. It's not backed by gold. Right? Hear that? Look, the buck is what it is. It's not going to go anywhere, or crash, or disappear, unless the United States goes away, disappears. Okay, I guess they could call in and say, okay, we're going to bankrupt, call it bankrupt on the United States, and it's possible that they could say we're going to print a new buck, and the old buck is gone. See ya. And we're going to start over. That could happen, I guess. It's happened a couple times in history in the United States. I mean, they have some printed money that they, a couple times, I think, I've seen a couple old bills, Confederate bills, and then some other ones I've seen that went bye-bye, and they had to reprint new ones. So it's happened a few times. Now there's a Federal Reserve note. But I don't think the Federal Reserve note will do that, because if they do, then it will be the most hated money in the world. It will be if they default on it. So I don't think they will default on it. I really don't. And so they'll just have to deal with the inflation. They'll just deal with the money changers, and they'll pay that interest. That's what they're going to do. And which is enormous, which is eating up all our jobs. So that's pretty bad. So what I'm saying is that there's not enough gold right now to say, oh hey, here's gold to back it up. And why I say that is the real estate values. The United States is worth, I think someone was telling me, I think it was 150 trillion, 300 trillion, some crazy number. I can't remember what it was. It was up there. I think it was 150 trillion or more. And then if you take away all the assets of the United States, subtracted from the liabilities, all the loans on the real estate, and you subtract it from the what the assets are worth, and you end up with about 80 trillion left over, maybe a little more than that. And so that would be what would be left over after paying all the loans off. So $80 trillion. That's amazing. And most countries can't, don't come out that shiny. And so if we paid off all that means all the commercial property, all the homes, everything. If we were to pay it all off tomorrow morning, we'd be left with $80 trillion in the bank. Okay, so a lot of them say that. I don't know. They banter about figures all the time, so I don't know, but that's what they claim. And because of that, now notice it's not a negative; it's a plus. So if we ended up with 90 trillion in the hole, then that would be a different scenario we'd be talking about right now. But anyway, because we have that plus equity there, that's why that also makes it clear that the dollar is not going to go away because we have all that equity there, and it increases all the time. Now it's probably that was a few years ago that we had that plus sign. And now it's even higher than that. It's probably maybe 100 trillion now. So anyway, and a lot of other countries do that, and they're in the negative. So that's why, like other countries, their currency is in the negative because, like Russia, when they add up all their stuff like that, they come like negative 2 trillion or whatever it is. So they come up in the negative areas, and it's not the positive. And that's why people don't like the Russian money because you try to go buy something with it, and you can't buy much with it. There's not as much you can buy with it. Why? Because they're in that negative area. Okay, so the dollar is not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go by unless the United States is going, or a big chunk of the United States, if we got nuked or something. But it would take more than one nuke. It'd take several nukes to hit the major cities before the United States would fall and go bye-bye. And gold, on the other hand, there's just not enough gold. We don't have $1 trillion worth of gold. Okay? So even if we took gold and backed it up with the money, only the super rich would have all the gold. Then the middle class and below, most of them wouldn't have any gold, unless they bought it prior to the gold backing the money again. So other than that, pretty much the super rich would have the gold because it'd be it'd be super expensive and it'd be super valuable, and eventually all the super rich would have the gold and silver, and then the rest of us would have nothing. And if you go back in the history, you're going to find out that back in the 1800s and stuff, super rich had all the gold. Super rich had all the gold. Hey, I can see myself. Ha! Look at that. Super rich had all the gold, and all the poor people down below that had. And down below that, all the people didn't have anything. Some people didn't even have a penny. Like we today, we have pennies and left over in your change. They didn't even have that. So they had to change it because not everybody had actual money. They were bartering, trading things. The money was, pelts or whatever they could, corn or whatever they grew. They would trade that because they didn't have any money. They couldn't afford to have any kind of money because only the rich people had money. So now that everybody can have money, people use it as a measure of exchange. That's how it is today. But if you were to put gold as a standard again, then there wouldn't be enough gold to cover all those transactions, and there's just no way. Plus, the United States can make gold, so that's another big deal that most people don't know. Super colliders have been able to take lead, and I think it's barium or something else, and they pound it into lead, and under high temperatures and certain pressure, it turns it into gold. And that's amazing. And they said it just wasn't commercially feasible in 1970, but now it might be. So it's very possible that the United States government could be making gold, and it's making it that way with a super collider makes it not radioactive. So they can actually make gold. The only country in the world that I know of that has claimed it is the United States. So if they can make gold, then there you go. So now we can make gold commercially and sell it on the market. I mean, that's very possible, and probably they're doing it. So that'd be pretty bad. You know, wait till the gold gets up to $3,000 an ounce, and then our government dumps some on the market. Man, who's laughing at who now? That's amazing. Anyway, so what I'm saying is the dollar will never go away until the United States is gone. That's just how it is. It's not going to go away because it's what the dollar can do for you. If you go back and look at what other currencies can do for you, you're going to find that the dollar can do more for you than other currencies can. Okay, you go get the Chinese yen and you go to China and try to buy stuff with it, you'll see you can only buy so much with a dollar yen. It'll only buy you, I think they used to compare sugar, okay? So you go buy sugar in the store today, it costs you $2.35 for a 10-pound pound of sugar. And, well, it used to be bags of candy, too. Like you go in the store and you get a bag of candy, a pound of candy for $1, I think is what it was back in the day, or a nickel or a dime or whatever, even further back. But anyway, so now you can go to the store and buy 10 pounds of sugar for $2.30, I think it is right now. And so you go to China and you take the Chinese yen and you go buy sugar, and it costs you 2 yen, and 35, some change, 2 yen and some change to buy a thing of sugar, same price. You say, hey, that's pretty wild. And it's like the United States. It's taking 2 bills and some change to buy it. Okay, and you go, wow, that's pretty funny. See, so, but they're not equal in monies. You actually probably paid more using 2 yen because it's more expensive over there in China. So your yen costs you actually more money to pay for the sugar than it did a dollar, because the dollar against the yen's stronger. So actually you're paying more technically than you did on the dollar because the yen's worth more. And by the way, yen to the dollar depends on the time. A few years ago I went in and so every dollar I cashed, every US dollar comparison to a yen was $10. So because my yens were, each time I cashed in a yen, I got $10 per yen, $10 per yen. So because it was higher. I don't know what it is today, but that was pretty good. Or even, I'll take it back, it even went up to $12 for a while there. So for a while there, I'd trade my yen in, and I would get $10 per $10 per yen is what I used to get. That's pretty good. So I paid one time I paid $1 for the yen. That's $1 for 1 yen. And then I held on to those for a few years, and it went all the way up to $12 per yen is what I got back, $12 years later. So and then the yen would dive, go down, and then you buy a whole bunch and hold on to it, and then when it peaks up there again super high, you sell it and pull your money out. And so that's called currency trading. And so a lot of people do that. But the problem is people don't like to hold on to the money long enough until it goes up there that high. And I happen to do that myself. So anyways, so that's where it comes. But the dollar always can buy you anything you want. Yen, you can't. The yen, you can buy a lot of things, believe me, but you can't buy everything. And the US dollar, can buy you anything. So if there's something out there that you want to buy with the dollar, you can buy anything with it at any time if you have enough dollars. You can buy anything. You want to buy rice year-round, you can do it. You can want to buy food year-round, you can do it. But you cannot do that with the yen. So that's how it is. They run out of rice in China all the time, and you can't buy rice like that year-round. You cannot buy beef and other kinds of products. When they run out in China, they're out. That's it, baby. When they run out. You can't get it. Doesn't matter how many yen you have. U.S., you can always buy something. You can always buy food in the United States. They don't run out, ever. It's amazing. One story I heard about was in Russia when they first opened the first Pizza Hut in Russia. People would go in and they would buy, a Pizza Hut pizza. It would take them back then. This is back in the 80s. One meal cost Russian workers a week's pay. So a Russian worker could work 40 hours a week and buy one meal. That's a pizza, a drink, and some cheese sticks. The little breadsticks. Just one lunch meal, and that would cost them a week's salary. That's how crazy it is. So a week's salary they would get, and they'd eat it, and then they'd go wait in line again, and it would take them almost 24 hours to get back into the restaurant again. And so they asked the person, "Why are you back in line again?" And he says, "We've never had a restaurant in Russia that's never ran out of food before." And so we're seeing how long it takes before it runs out of food. And it never ran out of food. It just kept going and going and going and going. They couldn't believe it. They were shocked because most everything in Russia would run out of food. Or, either the grocery store would run out of stuff, or the Pizza Hut, the restaurant, non-Pizza Hut, would run out of food. And so they would run back and get in line again and stay there. I mean, could you believe that 24 hours a day, standing in line in front of McDonald's or something and sitting on the ground or whatever, laying on the ground, taking a nap, and wait almost 24 hours just to get in there to buy a Big Mac meal, which is 1 week's worth of pay. Your husband's working a whole week and then comes up there, here's the money to pay for it, And you get in the door and then sit down and have one meal at McDonald's. 1 whole week's worth of pay. Unbelievable. That's just craziness. That's beyond craziness. That's insanity. So, anyway. And now Russia wants to go back to that kind of deal. Now, unreal. There's going to be a lot of fighting in Russia as it goes closer and closer to that. I think they're going to have a lot of infighting as Putin brings Russia closer and closer back to those days, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to go back to that eventually. See, Putin he must forget how bad it was. Well, he was in the KGB, so he got fed fine. He got plenty of food and everything because he was a top feeder. KGB and all those people they all were top feeders, so they restaurants. He probably took food home and cooked it and super food for those type of the smaller restaurants probably did run out of food for the people, but the secret restaurant that catered to just the regular restaurants like those to and probably only KGB went to those places, and so that's that they have plenty of food. I'm sure that's how. Okay, I better finish up. It keeps telling me I keep having a bad connection, so I'll have to try this again sometime. Thanks for your long ear. Oh, it's a very bad connection. Very bad connection. Anyways, thanks for listening. Talk to you again. Oh, I got one person here. Looks like from China. Or either that or over there from South Korea. That's the whole thing too. The Koreans over there. I feel bad because there's a lot of good Koreans over there. Well, I had one friend that used to sneak into North Korea all the time, and he'd take pictures and video over there and sneak back out all the time. I kept telling him, "You're gonna get caught. You're gonna get caught." But I feel bad because the people are good people over there. Those people don't want no war. The people on the streets and stuff and all those kind of people, they don't want any war over there. They don't want to die, and if you're between the crosshairs, the U.S. is over there bombing the place, and and then you're in the crosshairs. Who knows? You could end up getting shot or killed, and had nothing to do with anything. So I don't wish any ill will amongst the people there. Unfortunately, I think that's the only way to get those nuclear missiles out of the hands of Kiwi boys is military action. I think that's pretty much the only way it's ever going to happen. And unfortunately, and China, unfortunately, is gonna it wants a proxy war somewhere, and I think that's where China wants one. I think Russia and China have been egging on this a North Korean guy, saying, "Oh yeah, go ahead, fire some more missiles off. Go ahead, don't worry about it. That's what I think. I think that's been going on too much, and so that's kind of what I think has been going on with that, which I think is just sad because they're pushing North Korea further and further into a war, and so and that's just disgusting because they're going to end up getting the brunt of the war, and it's going to really harm a lot of innocent people. Even the people that are in the military there, they don't deserve to die. There's good people there too that don't know what they're doing. Anyway, I'm getting a little battery signal, so I better run. Thanks for watching and listening. I sure appreciate it. Have a great day.